Yeah. The you also got a buzzing track with Clyde Carson.
Right. Another situation with the producer McLaren. I cannot stress McLaren F1. He got Clyde to do he was like, hey, like I need you to get on the track. And that's just how it goes, man. He gave him some beats. He had a few features from him, and now he's going to be on my new album also. I got a verse from Clyde on my new album, and the buzzing track McLaren F1. He
Yeah.
did that track with him. He's done a multiple songs with him. They're kind of really clicked up. They do music together all the time, so it's just easier to get him. And we got future music with him, and we got music that's out with him. Yep.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Clyde Carson growing
Yeah,
up
man,
back in
he
the day
dope.
because when he was
Yeah, yeah,
especially when he was on Black Wall Street.
oh yeah, he dope, man. He dope. He along with shout out to King Crooked, man, one of the dopest MCs on the
Oh,
West Coast, man.
yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I
He's one
I
of my
hope you get an
favorites.
interview. I really hope you get an interview with him because he
Oh,
seemed he
I've
a
been
solid
trying.
dude.
I've literally been trying. I've used every way possible that I've known to
Yeah,
man to get
because
a hold of
well,
Crooked.
I maybe chime in. I don't know him personally. I know my producer does. He does McLaren F1. Gave him some tracks before also. So maybe I'll chime in with him and see if he can, because they know, man, they didn't ran it. This is crazy how the world is, man. We were talking about Crook and how dope he was one day, and then the next day he runs into him while they're jogging, right? He said, man, you're not going to believe we were just talking about Crooked, and I ran into him, and they built a relationship based on jogging around a neighborhood. They stayed not too far from each other, and that's how they clicked up. And he's able to. So he's spoken to him many a times and did he sent him some music. I don't know if it's out yet, but he has done tracks for him before. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done 3 tracks back in the day with Crooked Eye, and then
Uh,
he also gave me uh tickets for when Rock the Bells was in Vancouver and Slaughterhouse was here. So he gave me whole
wow.
bunch of tickets. So I
That's
have
dope. That's
I
dope.
already have a connection. He just hasn't put the dots together, right?
Yeah, right. That's what it be. And then
Yeah,
sometimes people be just busy doing their own thing, man. It's
just
not
trying to
personal.
manifest it.
Yeah, that's how you do it. I think you'll get it, man. From what I heard, he's a cool dude. I ain't like, oh, I had went to one show. He came to Oakland when he dropped the album, The Predator. He dropped that record, and he came to Oakland to perform. And I went to that show, and I took a picture with him. I don't think he remembered, but that's when I was just tapping in with what he was doing at the time. I thought it was dope. But you see how I talk about other MCs on the show that you're talking about me, because I
Yeah.
got I got love for hip hop. I'm not really focused on like, oh, it's all about me. No, it's all about all of us, man. It's a 50 years of hip hop, man. Shout out to everybody that contribute. Whether you're a small artist just starting off, you still contributed to this life that we call hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Or a big artist. And shout out to all the artists doing their thing. You know?
So while we're on that, then just to throw out a couple names of friends that I got. One of them,
Uh,
your boy, or Rich Rocca from he
yeah,
was
yeah,
from
yeah,
San
yeah.
Francisco. You know
Yeah,
him?
yeah, yeah. I know the boy. Yeah, he's dope. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
always actually I think I just heard some new stuff from him, man. I was
yeah,
because
probably.
sometimes because when you're online, you kind of just be going through stuff and then you see something. I'm like, oh, okay, he's still rocking.
Yeah.
I expect him to still be rocking, but he's still doing his thing. Yep,
And
that's
then
good though.
there's a video producer. He makes music videos in the Bay, Hatch 86.
Oh, okay. Heard of
I don't
him.
know if you ever heard of him.
I heard of that name before, yeah,
Yeah,
but
he
I'm
does a
not
lot of
familiar.
Too Short and E40 videos and stuff. So.
Oh, okay. I've heard of the name before, but I just
Okay.
couldn't connect the dots on what he was doing.
If you were having a dream dinner party and you can invite 3 other famous people dead or alive, who do you want to bring to your table?
Oh, that's alive. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good
Dead
one.
or alive?
Oh, dead or alive? Oh, I'm taking off back. I'm taking Bruce Lee, Bob Marley, and well, I might want to throw a woman in there. Angela Davis. I'm gonna throw them three in there, just like that. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Real good conversation right there.
For me, I always go with Tupac, and
Uh,
then Seth Rogen would be my comedian because he's from Vancouver and he smokes
yeah.
weed. So the
Right.
and then for a little bit of eye candy, I got to get Shakira there. I think.
I heard that. That's dope. That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. See, I kind of think I'm trying to think on a more of a where I'm at now, but
Yeah.
I'm all for that too. You know what I'm saying? Because I ran, we know Pac. It's kind of a little different. You know what I'm saying? I already knew him and a little bit, so I already I've seen that stage.
You had run-ins with Pac then?
No, man. It's a whole nother story, brother.
I need
Hey,
that
bro.
story.
Woo! So Pac, the whole story with Pac is when he first started, he was rocking with people that we knew that was part of his manager. Man, that's one of my our friends that lived up the block. That was his older brother. You know, he had a lot of and babes. You know, these are people that's our OGs, that's older than us that ran with Pac at the time. You know, in Oakland, and they from Richmond, but they was rocking with him, and they was part of his team. You know, so when he was starting off, before his album even came out, he was looking for a group of kids to rap. You know, this is before Outlaws and whatever. Shout out to them, and he actually, you know, our little friend, our folks in the neighborhood, they got together, my cousins, everybody, you know, they formed a group, and we went over Pac house. They said Pac looking for a group, so we all piled in the car. At the time, I think Papa took us down there, and he drove us to Pac house in Oakland, his apartment in Oakland. This before Pac even first album came out. He had just finished it. We seeing the you know, you see the layout. He's showing us the layout of his album, Tupacalypse Now. And he was like, yeah, I'm about to drop this. He said, I'm looking for a group that I want to work with. We like, oh, okay. Because we knew who he was because he did When I Clown Around with the Hang Around with the Underground. You know, he was already with Digital Underground. So we already knew who he was. We went over his house, we young, and he said, all right, everybody spit a verse. So we all spit verses. He was like, all right, y'all cool. I think me and my boy STN, we went over there. And he wasn't like smaller kids, like real small. So he took the little homies in the hood, he put them all together. And he said, okay, when I finish with them, if y'all still rocking, I'll do something with y'all afterwards. You know what I mean? So he did demos with them, man, wrote the songs, and they went in, you know, I wish I had some of them demos still, but they actually did songs with him, and he was trying to actually get them signed at the time. And this was back in, I want to say 1991, 92.
So was that him auditioning for like trying to make the Thug Life group, or would that have been like the Outlaws?
Which one? I'm sorry.
Would that be like auditioning? You guys went to the studio to almost audition to be in the Outlaws?
Yeah, it wasn't really the Outlaw because he wasn't even in that stage at that point.
Yeah, so it would have been like Thug Life would be almost the first group.
So really called it the Half Nots. They gave him a name. They was called the Half Nots. Oh. Which actually, if you think now, when a story that the Half Nots that he was going to put out, they end up being on my album, right? I put them on my album because they from my hood. They're from my block. So I initially just put them on my album because Pac was doing his own thing at the time. He was still having them waiting to see what they was going to do. So I took Dog, my boy Jess, and Ayrton, and I threw them on my album at the time. And guess what happened? So Pac manager, I don't want to tell you no lies or nothing, man. So they went and bought my album. I put it out, and Pac, I see him up the street from the house. They went around the corner, and you could see them. He looking at my album cover and looking like, who is he? This guy put my artist on his album, not in a bad way, but I think it was like, oh man, that's cool that he's like, and I guess his manager that was our friend. He was just like, look, man, somebody that put your group already on the album, on their album. You know what I mean? So I think it was a good thing, man, and I felt good because I'm like, dang, Pac got my album, but I mean, he got it for the reason that his artist that he was working with, I put him on my album because we from the people that he's working with, we from the same block. So of course they're gonna be on my album, you know what I mean? And then from there, they end up being in all the videos, like, to Keep Your Head Up, If My Homies Call, all these videos that he did from his first album and the second one. If you see the little dudes in there, that's my family, that's my block, that's my peoples, you know what I mean? They all in the video. So I was going to school, to be honest with you. It was times where I could be in the videos, but I was so caught on going to school. I was like, I got to go to school, man. So I don't look at them as missed opportunities to being around pockets that many times, but I was just like, I always felt like something else was calling me to just stay doing what I was doing. You know what I mean? So that's how that went,
You're tuning into I Only Touch Greatness podcast, Vancouver's best show with Ryan Hayes.
Often imitated but never duplicated, I Only Touch Greatness podcast with Ryan Hayes.
Looking for the most beers on tap?
Great steaks, great staff? Head over to the John B.
The John B. Pub, the best bar in town. Say Hayes sent you.